Hey guys, how's it going? Zombie here with ZNR Gaming. Today we're going to be looking at the Destiny 2 beta. We're going to go over the classes for the Warlock. We're going to start off today with this video. It's going to be the DawnBlade, the newest addition to the Warlock. Want to just mention at first to the right we have what the DawnBlade looks like. I think it looks pretty awesome for anyone who ever played Diablo 2, possibly Diablo 3. The wings kind of remind me of the archangels from that game, which I think are really awesome. But to get right into it, we'll get into the the DawnBlade subclass. We'll go and look at it. We'll look at the ability itself, and the super ability is Dawnbreak. Weave solar light into blades and smite your foes from the skies. So you push your two bumpers if you're on here, L1 and R1 if you're on the PS4. And you activate your super like you do with any other one, and you look like this sucker on the right here, which is really awesome. And what we're going to look at first are the abilities of the Warlock. The first one, which is Healing Rift. To what you do to activate this, you press and hold the B or the circle to conjure a well of light that continuously heals those inside it. You also use the Empowering Rift, which press and hold the same button B to conjure a well of light that increases weapon damage from those inside it. Now this is very similar to the effect that the bubble gave off for the the Titan in the first Destiny game. And it was what I like to do with this. I like to use it from behind cover, but normally me and Reaper will team up and he would drop his wall that he gets as a Titan, and then I'll drop one of these. Now depending on the mode we play, if we play in PvP, normally I'll do the one that does the extra damage. The reason why I normally don't do the one that does the healing is in PvP against other people you die fairly quick compared to any monsters or enemies that you would face in PvE. So instead of trying to prolong my life by maybe a second, I'd rather put some extra stopping power for me and the allies in which I'm playing with. And if we double it with his wall, it provides pretty good cover, and we can just peek around. I do use the Healing Rift every once in a while in PvE, and sometimes I might try it in PvP, but normally the PvE when doing strikes and stuff, I'm sure I'll use it more. But those are those two. Now, looking at the grenades, we have the solar grenade, a grenade that creates a flare of solar light that continuously damages enemies trapped inside. This is my favorite of the three grenades for this subclass, and the reason for this is I'm more of a PvE person, but on PvE this grenade allows the ability to throw amongst a bunch of enemies, or if you see one backing up, throw it behind them. You can throw it on bosses if they're sitting still, and it provides additional damage over a few seconds, and it's really effective. The next one, the Firebolt grenade, a grenade that unleashes bolts of solar light at nearby enemies. This one's pretty good as well. I honestly didn't use this one that much, so I won't be able to talk as much about it. I did use it a couple times. It was very effective, but again, it's just like a regular grenade. You throw it, it explodes and damages any enemies close or nearby. This one does the additional damage over time, so that's one I like. But we also get the fusion grenade, an explosive grenade that deals bonus damage when it attaches to a target. Now I did use this in PvP, and I actually did get lucky enough to stick several enemies and they did not die. I'm not sure if they weaken the grenades in this game compared to the first one, but I would expect, come a bad throw normally, but I would expect if I get lucky enough to stick someone with a grenade, I would hope they would die from it, but that's not the case. Looking at the jumps now, we get the Strafe Glide is one of them. It is a jump while airborne to activate glide and start an airborne drift and strong directional control. This is really effective whenever you trying to get to a certain location in PvE mostly. Jumping from ledge to ledge, trying to get good vantage points, or if you fall and trying not to fall off an actual cliff, trying to get back on or something, or trying to get to a certain location is really useful. Burst Glide, jump while airborne to activate glide and start an airborne drift with a strong initial boost of speed. This is the same thing as we just saw kind of, but this one just gives us a lot faster. We don't quite get the mobility as we do with the strafe, but with the burst it does give us that additional speed, which can be very effective. For the third jump we have balance glide. It says jump while airborne to activate glide and start an airborne drift with both moderate speed and directional control. So if you can't pick which one you like between the control or the speed, this is the one I use. It does feel like a good balance between the two. When the full game comes out and I'm working my way through them, I'll try them more often each individually, and I'm sure they'll find their own purposes when I need one or the other. And the burst one probably more for situations with strikes or rage, or the things that are a little more fast-paced and a little more dire than normal missions or patrols or adventures that I believe they'll call on this one. For our next set on the path, we have Winged Sun, and you engage your enemies mid-flight, fire weapons, and throw grenades while gliding. This is one Attenuate Sky. These are, I believe, are just additions to what we can already do. Make them a little bit stronger. Heat Rising, airborne kill, recharge your grenade and melee enemies. Melee energy. Casting Daybreak instantly refills all your ability energy. So if you throw a grenade or use your melee and then you activate your actual your subclass here, it will automatically refill those two. And it will refill a little faster while you're in the air if you're firing weapons from the ground, or I guess if you're throwing your swords, it'll refill a little bit easier, those grenades and stuff. The third thing we have is Incubus Dash, and this one is a mid-air dodge. It's pretty effective, and it allows you to move a lot quicker through areas. What you do is when your special is activated, jump into the air, double tap B, and in any direction that you move, you'll do a quick dash. This is really effective in PvP. Most people are looking at the ground whenever they see someone coming around the radar, so if you're pretty high up and then you're just dashing in and out of areas, they may not be ready for you, and you can hit them with rocket launchers or shotguns or any normal weapons you may have. Actually, no, I was just speaking about this, I didn't think, guys. This is during the DawnBlade subclass, so you'll be flinging your swords down at them. It's very effective. So yeah, you'll dash around the corner, you'll do that, and you'll sling a few swords at them. And it's really effective, and it's also really good at distracting people while they're looking at a big flaming angel, essentially, is what you're going to look like. Then while they're looking at you, your teammates can step around the corner and mess people up as well. And then for the Swift Strike, strike an enemy with this melee to burn your target and temporarily increase your movement and reload speed. I've used this in PvP, and it's real effective. I've actually meleeed people and then died, and I've caused so much damage due to shooting them before I meleeed them. They died a couple seconds later, so it's really effective for that. Down here, this is a skill tree area that we have not been able to get to in the beta, and looking at it, it seems that each of these requires an exotic shard. This worries me a bit because I'm a bit of a collector. Most people will actually look at an exotic weapon and say, okay, well, I'm going to use this one, then they'll get another one that's not exactly their weapon type, and they'll say, oh, well, I'm going to discard this because I don't use it anyway. That is not me. I'm a collector. If I get it in this something special like that, if it's an exotic, even if I'll never use it, I always keep it in my vault. And every once in a while I may go dabble with it, but normally I just keep it in the vault because I'm a collector. So I'll have to get duplicates of exotics, which will take a little while before that starts to happen, before I'll get these exotic shards. But looking at that, I'll go ahead and get into what they are. Igniting Touch. Strike an enemy with this melee ability to burn them and cause them to explode when killed. This is very effective in PvP for you're with a bunch of enemies, you're playing control or something. If you melee one and they try to back up into a building while you're doing it, maybe they'll become a miniature grenade for you whenever they step inside, damaging other enemies nearby and kind of throwing them off guard. After that, we have the Fated for the Flame. Daybreak, projectiles seek targets as they travel, and upon impact launch a streak of deadly flame. So this is pretty effective. while you're using your flaming swords, the waves that you're sending down with it, it'll actually track enemies, which will be very effective. And not only that, it'll actually cause flames to burst around their general area, which you could call in PvP will be real good for games again like Control, where people are sitting on a base trying to locate it and trying to capture it. It'll be really effective for causing area effect damage and killing them as well. Everlasting Fire, killing an enemy with Daybreak extends its duration. This would be really effective for strikes and raids, especially raids. Normally in raids we have to sit in locations, it seems like, and hold off enemy waves for a little while. So this would be very effective while the waves are coming in. You're just welling on them and taking them out and just prolonging your DawnBlade for even longer. And then last we had the Phoenix Dive. This was one I've actually seen in footage previously, but it was through Bungie footage, so we were unable to use it ourselves on this. But what you do is you hold B while in midair with subclass activated, and you quickly descend and restore your health, is what it says. While Dawnbreak is active, descend causing explosive damage. It looks kind of like what I would call a sword in a stone technique. You just fall to the ground, plunging the sword into the ground, causing a massive area of effect explosion. Good for clearing out enemies. Again, I've mentioned it several times before. You're playing games like Control, 3 or 4 people are sitting on a point trying to hold it, and if you can do this, you'll clear out the whole area. Again, PvE, strikes, raids, normal patrolling around the areas, doing adventures. Anytime any enemies just bundled together, it's just a perfect shot just to do this. This will probably take up a lot of whatever our subclass meter is left whenever we use it, but we'll have to wait till the actual game comes out to see it. So that's it, guys. If you like what you saw, please let us know, and like, subscribe, comment below. We'll try to get more information out when the actual game comes out, talking about these classes yet again. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the beta. I know I did. I'm really looking forward to the game when it comes out, and we will see you in the next one, and we appreciate you.